Mr. Meddle and the Snow. One morning, when Mr. Meddle got up, he saw that it was snowing. Dear me, how it snowed! It snowed all night, and it snowed all day.
"Just like great big goose feathers coming down from the sky," said Mr. Meddle,
as he watched the snowflakes falling. He rattled the pennies in his pocket. Mr. Meddle had 4 of them there, and that was all the money he had. It wouldn't buy very much. Somehow or other, he must get some more.
"I think I'll go and see if anyone wants their snow sweeping away," said Mr. Meddle. "If I take my broom and my spade, I might be able to earn quite a lot of money."
So he found his broom and his spade and put them over his shoulder. Then off he went to find some work. He came to Dame Fanny's cottage. She was at the window looking up at the snow. Meddle called to her.
"Shall I sweep a path to your front door for you, Dame Fanny?"
"No, thank you," called back Dame Fanny. "I don't trust you to do anything sensibly, Mr. Meddle." Meddle was angry. Of course he could act sensibly. How rude of Dame Fanny. He would sweep a path just to show her how well he could work. So, as soon as the old dame had gone from the window, Mr. Meddle set to work. He couldn't seem to find the proper path, so he swept hard where he thought it was. After he'd swept quite a long time, Dame Fanny looked out the window again, and my goodness, how angry she was. "You're sweeping across my beds," she shouted. "All my snowdrops are coming up there, and now you've swept all their heads off. Look at them there in the snow. You mischievous creature, just you wait until I come out to you." But Meddle didn't wait. He shot off down the road as fast as his feet would take him.
"How was I to know she was growing silly snowdrops all over the place?" he grumbled. "Oh, I say, look at that great pile of snow by the side of the road there. How dreadful. I'll dig it away and sweep it flat."
So he began. He dug his spade into the big heap of snow and threw it behind him. Then he swept it over the pavement, feeling very pleased to think he'd got rid of such a big heap of snow. But he'd hardly finished when Mr. Biscuit the baker, outside whose shop the big heap of snow had stood, suddenly put his head out of the door.
"What do you think you're doing?" he asked Mr. Meddle,
in a voice like ice.
"Oh, please, sir, I found a great heap of snow outside your shop, so I thought I'd better break it up and flatten it down on the pavement," said Meddle. "It was such a big heap of snow." "It was," said Mr. Biscuit, in a horrid sort of voice. "I made it myself, Mr. Meddle. I swept all the snow off my pavement and packed it up into a big heap to melt, and now you've come along and undone all my work. The snow is all over my pavement again. Come here, you meddling, interfering little man."
But Meddle didn't go to Mr. Biscuit. No, he knew better than that. He skipped off down the road as if a dog were after him.
"I'm not really getting on very well," said Mr. Meddle sadly. "Oh, look, what a lot of snow there is outside Father Flap's house. He's no chap, so perhaps he would like someone to dig it away for him."
So Meddle went up to the door, through the thick snow, and knocked on the knocker. Father Flap opened the door.
"Oh, what is it?" he growled. "Father Flap, let me sweep away the snow from your garden," said Meddle. "I'm a good workman. I am. I'll be pleased to do it for 6pence. "You're not a good workman, and I don't want it done," said Father Flap. "I like the snow there. It looks pretty."
He slammed his door shut. Meddle sighed. He looked up at the roof and saw that the snow lay heavily there too.
"That's really dangerous," he said to himself. "That snow will slide down and bury someone if Father Flap's not careful."
Meddle opened the letterbox flap in the front door and shouted through it,
"Hey, shall I make your roof safe for you? There's a lot of snow there."
There was no answer. Father Flap had gone into his warm kitchen and shut the door. Meddle stood on the snowy step and looked up at the roof. "Well, if I clear the snow from there, perhaps Father Flap will pay me for it," he thought. "If I make it all clean and push the snow off, surely he'll give me 6pence. So he stood on the water barrel nearby and climbed up onto the roof. He clung to a chimney and began to kick at the snow with his feet to clear it from the roof. Now Father Flap was sitting snoozing in his kitchen with Dame Flap when suddenly he heard a most peculiar noise on their roof. Of course they had no idea that Meddle was there. They both sat up and looked at one another.
"Cats on the roof again," said Dame Flap angrily. "Go and shoo them off, Flap. I will not have cats on my roof." So Father Flap went to the front door and opened it. He walked out on the doorstep and looked up at the roof, and at that very moment Meddle loosened a great sheet of snow with his foot, and it slid down with a swooshing sound. It fell off the roof straight onto poor Father Flap underneath. It buried him from head to foot, and he began to yell and shout. Meddle climbed down the water barrel to see what all the noise was about. He was most astonished to hear shouts coming from the snow he had pushed off, but when he saw Father Flap's angry face suddenly looking out from the top, he guessed what had happened. "Wait till I catch you, you meddlesome creature!" yelled Father Flap. He struggled out of the snow and ran at Meddle, but Meddle rushed away. Up the hill behind the cottage he went, up and up, hoping that Father Flap would soon be out of breath. But Father Flap was strong, and he was so angry that he meant to catch Meddle whatever happened, if he ran to the end of the world. When Meddle got to the top of the hill, he stopped. The other side was too steep to run down. Whatever was he to do? Father Flap decided that for him. He caught poor Meddle, gave him a good shaking, and then pushed him down the steep side of the hill. Over went Meddle into the deep, deep snow, but he didn't stop there. Oh, dear me, no. He couldn't stop because the hill was so steep, so down he rolled, covered with snow. And the further he went, the more he was covered with snow, until at last he looked like a great snowball rolling down the hill. Over and over he rolled, getting bigger every moment. At the bottom of the hill, some children were playing. When they saw the enormous snowball coming down on top of them, they ran off with squeals and screams. The great snowball, with Meddle inside, rolled to the bottom of the hill and came to a stop in the middle of the frozen pond. There it lay on the ice, quite still, with poor Meddle inside trying to shout and wriggle. He couldn't get out, and Father Flap wasn't going to run down the hill and help him, so nobody bothered at all, and there he stayed until the sun came out and began to melt the snowball. Meddle was so pleased. Soon he would be free again, but dear me, the sun melted the ice on the pond too, and by the time that Meddle got out the snowball, the ice had turned to water, and there was Meddle splashing in the cold, half-frozen pond. "Whatever do you want to go bathing in the pond this time of year for?" shouted the village policeman. "Come on out quickly, Mr. Meddle." Meddle came out, wet and cold. He went home and got himself a hot water bottle and a cup of hot milk. He shook his head sadly at his old black cat, who was waiting for him to give her the skin off the top of the milk. "It's no good trying to do anything for anybody," said Meddle. "Not a bit of good, Puskins." Well, it all depends on how you set about it, doesn't it?